Hello. So now let's get to day two of my Archipelago trail bike camping trip. So, like I've already said in the previous video, the first night was really cold for me, for somebody who gets cold easily. Especially, I didn't have long pants. I only had short pants. So I thought my legs will be okay, but my legs were cold. I even used like one thin windbreaker to cover my legs, but with the sleeping bag, inside the sleeping bag, I was trying to cover it, but it didn't really work and I was cold. And I woke up already at 6:20 because Finnish summer, the nights are really short. There are basically no nights. Like in southern Finland still, the nights are really still bright. It's already quite bright from 4 o'clock, I think. I'm not sure exactly, but around that time it's already bright. The sun is up already. So even though I slept very poorly, I slept poorly because I couldn't fall asleep deeply. I was so cold. I woke up already at 6:20 and it was still bright and the tent was in the sun, so it got hot as well quite soon. Yeah, after like 8 o'clock it was getting so hot in the tent. But I woke up and yeah, I went to the kitchen of the camping area. The Nantali camping, I said, yeah, I kind of maybe complained that I didn't like the place that much, but the kitchen was okay. They had like microwave, I mean, first refrigerator where you can keep your stuff and microwave. So I had my oatmeal, I ate that with the microwave, and there was also the kettle if you wanted to boil water. And yeah, the first thing I thought when I woke up was, should I go back home to get my pants? But then going back home and coming back to Nantali, that's 40 kilometers total. So, no, that's too much. Even without all the camping gears, it's still too much. So I thought I'll just buy new pants. And the Nantali Center was only like 15 minutes walking distance from the campsite. So I went to check out the Nantali marketplace. Tori is like outdoor marketplace, but it was Saturday around 10 a.m. There was like only one booth selling flowers and maybe another booth, cafe booth opening up. So there were no pants. I considered going to Lidl, but that was a bit far away and it's not certain if they have what I want. And there was one like a boutique shop, and but I didn't want to buy pants that's like over 30 or 50 euros. I didn't want to buy design pants. So I thought maybe, like, I was really hoping to find some flea market, kirppis. That would have been my like first choice, finding kirppis. So, well, from Naantali, it was too early Saturday morning. I thought, okay, maybe if I go to this Röölä place, I was planning to go there. Maybe they have something because you probably saw behind the photos. One another good reason that I wanted to do the trip. I meant to say trip. Do the trip that particular weekend was because of this free herrings and potato event. New potato, like newly harvested potato of the summer. I knew that event was happening in this little town called Röölä, and I really wanted to go to that. So, and that was like the weather and that event was the two biggest motivations for doing that small archipelago trail that weekend. Yeah, I was hoping, yeah, maybe I can find some place selling pants there. And I also thought that night was supposed to be at least a few degrees warmer, maybe 12 degrees at night, 11 or 12. So I thought, "Ah, maybe I can survive." I was like, anyway, I couldn't find anything from Naantali. So I left. Yeah, I went back to campsite to fold the camp and everything. And the oatmeal breakfast was so small that, yeah, I had some dried cereal, branch cereal with me that I packed in a little container. I ate some of that and left after 11:14. That's the record time that is recorded in my app. But soon after I started writing, I was feeling so tired. I mean, I slept so poorly and still woke up so early, and quite small breakfast. So I was feeling so tired, and I was thinking, yeah, I stopped You probably saw in the photos, I stopped where you could see the beautiful Kultaranta Gulf. And the photo is from May. One May, I was riding bike there to walk in some forests in Luonnonmaa. And photo is from that time. I didn't take photo in June, but yeah, the cute little trees. The view was so nice. Yeah, it's pretty much the same view. So I added the photo. Yeah, looking at the view, I stopped. Also because there's some uphill there. So before the uphill, I stopped. Ah, should I go back home? I'm so so tired. I'm so tired. If I want to go back home, this is my last chance. I mean, if I keep on going and try to go back home, then the journey gets too long, too many kilometers. So I stopped and really wondered, should I go back home? Oh my god. But I pushed through. I mean, I came this far with everything. I packed everything, came this far, and oh, come on, let's just go. And yes, I pushed through. I pushed through. Ah, and the weather was really good. So sunny. Yeah, 20 degrees, over 20 degrees, sunny weather in Finland. That's like perfect. Not that windy. Amazing. And then, so after the uphill and soon after, the great view. Like, I take photos when I feel great. The great photo. That's when I was starting to feel better. And then, of course, when I take selfies, yeah, same thing. I feel great. That's when I take photos like that. Ah, I started to feel great. I got energy, started to feel better. And so, yes, I kept on going. Yes, I'm so happy I didn't turn back and kept on going. And up until that time, it was like designated bike road, but then you will soon meet a road just next to, you have to ride next to cars at some point, but it's totally fine because the cars are used to the cyclists there. They know it's the, Archipelago trail, Rengastie. So there are other cyclists and cars are used to it, so it felt quite safe. Yeah. And so I kept going. And then, yes, Rymättylä Kirkko, I took photo of that. I like to take photos of churches in Finland because most Finnish towns, even small towns, have like small churches and they all look quite the same to me, but they're like landmarks. And I don't usually go inside, but I just like to look at the architecture and take photo. And so this one also, I just took photo. I didn't go inside. I'm not even sure if it was open or not. Yeah, I just took photo and the bike trail along that area. Yet now it started to have once again designated bike trail, and it was quite nice, the bike path there. Okay, and then finally, yes, soon after Rymättylä, a little bit more south is that town called Röölä. And yes, the event was going on. So like it was such a like lively atmosphere, many people, sunny day. So I took many photos, as you probably saw already, and the event going on. I was hungry, yeah, because I arrived around 1 o'clock, before 1 o'clock. So I lined up. The line was short. Sometimes the line for the herring and potato, it was there was a little bit of line, but not that long. And yes, the event says it's from like 10 to 4, but it ends when the food runs out. So yeah, there was still food when I was there. So I got my first portion, but my first portion was quite small, only like three small herring pieces and mostly just big potato. But the boiled potato was good, and the herring is like salty, so it was really good. And I had my vegetables still that I packed from home. It was in my bike bag, yeah. So I ate and then started to look for pants. And because yes, there was flea market going on, it was perfect. I mean not flea market, I meant marketplace. I couldn't find flea market. It was a marketplace where they sold bread, fish, ice cream, yeah, that kind of food stuff, and also like clothes. I saw clothes. I first saw design pants, too expensive, but then I found leggings being sold next to that this choir photo. You see, next to that, I found 10 euro leggings, and I thought, okay, I could buy that, but I don't use leggings that much, so I wasn't sure. So I thought, okay, I could buy that, and but I wasn't sure. I still wanted to look more, and I was still hungry. I was still hungry. I considered buying bread, but it was a bit of a big portion, and I wanted to eat the herring more. So yeah, I lined up again. I wasn't sure if I'm allowed to get second portion, but come on, it was just free food, and yeah, I just got my second portion, and this time I got good amount of herring, and that was a better portion. I felt quite good after that. And actually, soon after, I got my second portion. I think after that, the food ran out. If around 2 o'clock, the food had to run out. So I was lucky that way. And then I found pants, sweatpants. They were selling sweatpants, and I went to check it out. The seller said it was 15 euros, but she only has size small and size X large. So she said she'll just sell it for 10 euros. I wasn't even asking for discount, but she just offered it like that already. So I thought, yeah, 10 euro, I thought that's a good price to buy pants. So, but the problem was size small was too small for me around the waist. The pants itself was like baggy, like large around the legs, but the waist was too tight, and I cannot wear tight pants if it's tight around the waist because my stomach is very, how should I say, very sensitive. It can get stomach aches so easily, and wearing tight pants around the waist, I get stomach ache immediately, like or very soon afterwards. So I was like, I cannot wear this in daily life, but maybe just for one night to save myself from the cold, I could wear it. And my mom, she can wear pants that are tight around the waist. So I thought, okay, okay, I can buy it. And I already kind of talked to the seller a bit. I felt like, oh, yeah, I have to buy it. It almost felt rude to just walk away after talking to her a bit. But she said only cash, and I didn't have cash. I was like, oh no. But then she said in the end, I can just transfer the money directly to her bank account. So I thought, okay, I'll do that. And I did that, even cut the tag. So I finally got the pants. And and when I came out of that little, tent booth, I think that's when the food was sold out. Anyway, and I thought I still had time because I knew I had to take one ferry or ship that day. But that ferry only runs like 3 times a day, and I still had time. So I decided to look around, and then I found the flea market sign, Kirpis sign. It was there. And the red circle in one of the photos in the left corner, that was where the flea market sign was. It was not that visible, but I found it and I thought, okay, let's just take a look. And immediately when I went in, I found pants, 10 euros, that actually fit me better, much better, sweatpants. I was like, oh, but I already bought these pants. I transferred the money to the bank account and cut the tag and everything. I cannot return the pants. I was like, should I buy this? But and I look a bit more and I found 5 euro pants. It was meant for winter, I think, a little bit thicker, but waterproof material. They fit me like way better than this tight pants. And 5 euros. I was like, oh damn it. I bought that. So in the end, I ended up with two long pants, from zero to two long pants. Yeah, because 5 euro pants, it was perfect. So it was like I shouldn't have bought the 10 euro pants, but I was thinking, okay, maybe this is a souvenir from my mom or something. I thought I got a weird, funny story out of it. So I hope I didn't bore you out, but it was a big part of that trip that was so memorable that I had to explain it like this. So I ended up with two pants. Yes. And so after that, I was like, aha, laughing to myself and just sitting and eating up my vegetables and just, yeah, enjoyed that nice atmosphere of that small Röölä town with that marketplace and that event going on, like singing. And there was music, not only the choir, but there was a small stage where there were some singers singing, not at the same time, like, they were taking turns. And I had still time for that ferry that I had to take. I still had time, so I was just enjoying the day. And yeah, the nice sun was helping me beat the tiredness, even though, yeah, I was tired, but I also didn't feel that hungry because I was tired. But yet, so the herring and potato was my lunch, and I felt like that pants was somehow the price I pay for lunch to the Röölä town. Anyway, I stopped the recording here as like part one of day two. Okay, now moving on. Like this is now part two of the day two. So I arrived in the Röölä town 10 minutes before one, about, and then I left quarter after two. So I spent like 1 hour and a half almost in Röölä. So I left, and about 5 kilometer bike ride after, I had my first ferry ride. So in this archipelago trail, there's because this is archipelago, there are so many small islands, and they're connected by these ferries. In Finnish, they're lauta or lossi. I don't know what's the difference, but anyway, most of them are free. But if there is a long ride, you have to pay. So that day I had to pay for one long ride, like 1 hour ride. But this first one was very short. And this ferry ran every 20 minutes. Some ferries, if it's even shorter ride, it can be a really short ride. It's like because the distance between islands, it can be like a distance of a small river. So if they're really short, there is no timetable. They just run when there is need. Yeah. But anyway, this one um, ran every 20 minutes. And there is this website, Ferries website, where there is all the info of these ferries. Anyway, that was my first ferry ride. Took photo. Uh, After getting off the ferry, I also took photo. And after that, it was a nice countryside view. I met cows, and I don't know. I feel happy when I meet cows, and it's always nice to see some animals in the countryside. Yeah, the cows grazing in the field. I took photos there. And then I knew there was gonna be some forest. Like, I mean, of course, there's forest everywhere, but in the Google Maps, it showed that there is gonna be observation tower and a bit of hiking trail. And I wanted to incorporate some hiking into this trip. And since I had the time, since I knew the ship I had to take, it was leaving at 4:55 p.m. and I still had lots of time. So after a little bit of more bike ride, yeah, 3.6 kilometer, I arrived in Karhuvuori, which means bear mountain, but no, there were no bears. Maybe long, long time ago. Yeah, yeah, but this one was really short trail, but quite steep. So even less than 1 kilometer. So really short but steep. So you go up high, but it's short. So there I went, and then I mean the view. Oh yeah, I love going up hills. I love walking up hills. Finland doesn't have mountains really. That's a shame. I miss going uphill because then you get great view. And here, yeah, you get a great view. I mean the photo doesn't really capture it. You gotta go see it yourself. It had a nice view, and like I had time and I wanted some nice photos, and there was this bare tree branch. You see that tree right top of the corner. That's the part of the tree that took photo for me. That was the tree photographer that took photo for me. I mean, of course, with the timer. I set it and I tried many different photos to see how it goes. Many of it also captured the tree branch that kind of covered the lens. That's why I had to crop it. But yeah, I was just spending time like that, and then I ate the vegetables that I still had in my backpack. I had so many. I had packed a bit too much vegetables, I guess. And then when I left, it was just before 4, and I still had so much time. It was only 1.6 kilometer ride to the cafe truck, which was right at the place where you were supposed to take the ship. Um, yeah, and I was still hungry because in the end, my lunch, that herring and potato, it was not a big lunch. And when you're tired, you're either not hungry or very hungry. And now I was turning into a point where I was getting really hungry. There were some options. I considered having like this chocolate protein pudding, but I thought I'm so hungry, so I want to eat this donut. I usually don't eat it, but I was so hungry that it looked good. In Finland, it's called munki. I think it is somehow different from donuts, but I don't know exactly how. I'm not a baker. I have no idea. But anyway, munki, it's a Finnish donut. sugar coated donut. And I ate that. It was nice. And rested. Yeah, there were some Finnish people talking and resting. And then, yeah, went, I left the cafe when the ship was supposed to arrive, like 5 to 10 minutes before I got up and waited. But that felt like a long wait because now I was standing in the sun to wait for the ship. And there were not many people. There were only like few other cyclists, like five, four, five, six. Like there was another single cyclist and like two, three other groups, maybe three single cyclists and like two, three groups, small group of two and three, something like that. So like less than 10 people were waiting. And yeah, I didn't have to make any reservation. I think you can through the website, but you can just pay with cash or card or mobile pay. So I paid with my card. When I checked the homepage before, I thought you have to pay for myself €8 and €10 for a bike. So I thought it was €18. So I thought, oh, that's expensive. But then it's only €10. Like the €10 bicycle price includes the human being who's carrying the bicycle. So it was €10. So I felt like, okay, that's good. And then, yeah, this was like a proper ship where cars can go in and everything. But there were no cars. Maybe one car came in Saili because this ship stops in Saili in the middle on the way to Nauvoo Island. Nauvoo or Nagu. Nagu is the Swedish name, Nauvoo is the Finnish name. Anyway, inside the ship, there was a cafe on the second floor, or you could sit outside in the sun. And yeah, there were toilets. Yeah, and inside, I was inside the cafe most of the time. Outside only a little to look around, but I was tired. Yeah, there was another cyclist almost sleeping, like just resting, and it was nice. I could charge my phone there as well, and checking for dinner places because I was still hungry. I was still hungry. Yeah, and when it stopped at Saili, the roof, I only saw like the red houses, roofs where the ship stopped, and I took photos. It looked nice. Yeah. So like Saili is exactly in the middle. About 30 minutes after it's in Saili, stops a little bit and then leaves again. So total like 1 hour ship ride. And I took photos when the ship was approaching Nauvoo or Nagu. And I was thinking I want to eat salmon soup. And I got off, and the area, yeah, it looked very like a touristic area with fancy. Yeah, there were places selling pants as well. Clothes shop, but mostly restaurants and cafes by the harbor. Such a great view. Harbor view is always amazing. And yeah, they were all quite expensive. I mean, there were cheaper pizzas, but I really don't like pizzas and hamburgers if I can help it. It's hard to digest for me. They can taste good, but it's hard to digest. And I really wanted to eat salmon soup. And I found this €21 salmon soup already when I was searching inside the ship. I thought, that was like a really expensive price. I usually wouldn't eat it if I wasn't traveling. I wouldn't eat it, but I was first of all so hungry, and like there were no other options. I felt like I think there was another place that was selling soup, but I wanted salmon soup. Yeah. So I went to this place, and the restaurant is called, yeah, I put it in the photo, Båthuset. Was it? I forgot the spelling, but it's in Swedish. It looks like bathhouse. I thought, is it bathhouse? But apparently, this A with a circle on top is pronounced like O. So it's Båthuset. I think that's how it was spelled. Mm, yeah, right now I'm just looking at the camera. I'm not going to search for the name. Anyway, yeah, I just went there and ordered and waited. Wait was not that long, but I was so hungry. I was like, oh, I'm hungry. And the salmon soup. Ah, it was so good. Like salmon was melting in my mouth because I've had salmon soup in the student cafeterias here, but I mean they are delicious too. But this salmon soup was like a totally another level. Obviously, I mean it was. I felt like okay, I understand why it's expensive because the salmon was melting in my mouth. It was so delicious, so delicious. It was like it tasted so good. I mean, obviously, I was so hungry. Anything would have tasted really good, but still, it was so good. I don't know if I ate it if when I wasn't hungry. I don't know how it would have tasted, but that time that day, the melting salmon in my tongue, amazing. And in the picture, you can barely see it, but the bread was included. There is this bread called saaristolaisleipä. It means archipelago bread, so I guess it originates from the archipelago. I mean, I don't guess. I'm like, yeah, I'm sure it's from the archipelago area. That's why it's called archipelago bread. It's brown in color because it's it anyway includes some syrup. I think it's a bit sweet bread already, but then it was caramelized again in that restaurant. It was included in that 21 euros included the soup and that small piece of bread. Oh, but it was like it was how should I say? Yeah, toasted. It was toasted, so it was even more sweet and like it was like a dessert, and that was perfect. Because that my hunger that day was like due to my extreme tiredness already, and having the salmon soup and then having the bread. I felt very very happy. I mean, that made me really happy. I remember that. Yeah. So yes. Okay, so after having the salmon soup, I looked around the church area of Nauvoo and Nagu. Yeah, that's all I got to look around, but it was still pretty with some wooden buildings, and the Saint Olaf pilgrimage path was along that church. And earlier that day afternoon, I had sent email to Uttis camping. I found campsites by searching with the keyword camping in Google Maps or Leirinta Delta in Finnish. And the Uttis camping was the only place I found in Nagu. But they replied that they're not open yet. They were going to be open at the end of June. And they recommended me this place, Gammelgård Pizza and Paddle. And it was not that far away. It was a bit more north. So I checked their website, and it was 20 euros for a night. So I went there, a little bit of unpaved road, but the condition was quite all right. And I really liked it. It was like accommodation and restaurant, and also a paddle, as in the name. It was like in a villa, countryside, forest atmosphere, really nice. And there was a big group of people enjoying private sauna and jacuzzi outside. And yeah, I really loved it because I could use the bathroom and shower, which was in the main building, in the same building as the reception. And you can see the nice kitchen dining area, which was meant for breakfast, or you could just relax there. So I took shower and relaxed there. Shower even had hair dryer. Yeah, and the caravan area is where I could set up a tent. If caravan area, there were like 5 or 6 spots, but if it's full, I could use the yard. I asked the reception. Yeah, it was. I love the atmosphere. Only downside was, I guess, the ground beneath had some large stones. I guess because it was hard to push in the peg for the tent. Nantali camping had really soft ground, so putting in the peg was much easier. But other than that, it was really perfect. I felt really nice staying there. Some people probably have weddings there. That it was like that. The photos don't really do them justice. You have to be there to really enjoy the nice atmosphere. And in the end, I rode about 36 kilometers that day. It wasn't that much, but yeah, from sleep deprivation, I was tired. Okay, I have to make this video short so that the total doesn't go over 30 minutes, and I'll try to add the cow video if it doesn't go over 30 minutes. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe and like and leave a comment.